Hey everyone, in this video we are going to deploy Bouncy Castle Java library which has support for post-quantum cryptographic algorithms on Ubuntu 22.04, and for that we will be using Java distribution OpenJDK 25. So first we have to do some prerequisite and set up your environment, and this start with installing OpenJDK 25. So I have already installed OpenJDK 25, so I will skip this part, but you can install this by following these particular steps. Then next you have to set up some variables. So this is a part of the OpenJDK itself, and there's some additional variable that you can set if you want to test your Bouncy Castle library against different Java versions. But for now we will be using OpenJDK only, so we will skip that part as well. Now the main deployment part. So we have two options. Either we can go with the source code, or the Bouncy Castle provide those artifacts directly from their website, which is present here. So it has the distribution and the artifacts already pre-compiled here, so you can install this for your application. And there are different modules available in the Bouncy Castle Java library. If you want to take it for the provider with the source code, then your TLS library, your core cryptographic library, so there are different modules. So you can download this artifact directly from their website, and then you have to also confirm the signature for the artifacts. So for that you have to download the public key, and for that particular thing you need to follow these steps and verify your jar signature file using this. But for now, in this particular video, we are going to deploy it from the source code itself. So let's start with the deployment part. One important thing, so we have to install this Bouncy Castle test data repository as well. Why that? So let me just clone it. Okay, so with increase in the number of algorithms, Bouncy Castle had created a separate repository for the test data, and so this test data has a lot of test cases, which is a prerequisite for building the Bouncy Castle Java library. Even though if you skip test cases, you still need this because it checks for this particular repository when you build the Bouncy Castle Java library. So we need to install this as well in the parent directory. Meanwhile, this is cloning. We can check its repository. So here you can see, here they have mentioned with the arrival of post-quantum algorithm, the size of the test data for their Bouncy Castle library has increased dramatically, and for that reason they have created this particular repository. So we need to build the process. It is still in the cloning process. As you can see, it has much greater size than your library itself. Let's just wait for a couple of minutes. So now the test data has been cloned. Let's move to the next part. So now we have two options. First, go with the build process with all the test cases, or skip the test cases during the build process. So for now, in this deployment video, we are going with the second option because it will take less time, but it is recommended that if you are doing this for production or an application level, it is better to test it. It is better to run test cases as well. So now let's move to the second part. So now the build has been successfully done. So in order to check, you locate your artifacts where they are present in your particular library. You can use this command. So here you can see you have these artifacts for particular modules here. So if you have noticed that each module has 3 particular artifacts or jar files. So this is the main one, which is primarily your binary. This is your binary along with your source code, and the third one is for API documentation for the particular module. And there are currently multiple modules present in here. You can also find it here, a little bit description about them. So there is a provider module, which is in the form of this, your TLS module, which is of this name, Bouncy Castle TLS. Then for your certificates, for the cryptographic code libraries, then your provider, and so on. And now the final part. So this is an additional optional part to verify if your artifacts are working perfectly or not. So in order to do that, we will create a temporary file. And here you can see we will set this particular variable bcchar, where we provide the location of the particular jar file of the provider, and then build this particular file, temporary file, against that particular artifact. So here you can find our Bouncy Castle Provider version is 1.83 and the registration status success, which shows that this particular file is able to access the provider jar file, and our jar file has been successfully built. So now the deployment is done. We will see you in the next video. Have a good day. Bye.